of the series. Just shortly, we're gonna have game number 4, and hey, look, I'm predicting things. We're suiting up, we're getting in the ship, and we are about to drop in.
Tiff, we're talking $150,000. We're also talking about qualifying for the Stage 2 finals. Teams on the bubble. Team Iceman Isaac in 25th place and Team Braxton in 26th place. One of our top qualifier teams this year. One of our top teams from last year. They're dwindling a little bit, but their eyes are on Stage 2. They gotta make it, and they gotta make a move now. You can't play a defensive game if you're on the bubble. It's all offensive. Find some eliminations. You need them desperately.
Look, we talk about Team Braxton. They found some really nice success performing consistently across CDLR, World Series of Warzone, just in general Warzone comp. But the issue with this is Braxton woke up this morning, didn't have any internet. Homie starts frantically on the timeline. He's like, where can I play? Where can I play? Finds a setup to play that's not his own, and now finds himself on the bubble. We have 3 games to turn it on, and Symphony on your screen. And Ghost, I know you had the pleasure of casting a tournament last week where you'd witnessed the comeback of Symphony to competitive Warzone, and Abby and Swagg said they're feeling good and they're looking good right now.
Yeah, they're finding a few eliminations. Now, they need to look a bit better than they do right now, Tiff, especially when we're falling off the edge of the map. That's tough. I think he got sniped according to the kill feed. That's Empathy finding a snipe, so we'll call it what it is. That's a snipe to the head and an actual snipe to the head. Not one of those you pretend you got sniped when you break your legs. Actually got sniped, okay? Everybody take a breath. But Symphony Squad is currently situated in 27th. You want to see them in Stage 2. You want to see Symphony on land. One of our only few mouse and keyboard players. We've got Future, we've got Bread, we've got Sim. There might be 1 or 2 more, but there is very, very few of those players. But we all know Symphony can be incredibly talented and cracked when he needs to be. Apathy and Slack can play their lives incredibly well. They just need more kills. That's been the curse of their existence throughout their entire Warzone career. Slack and Apathy, so good at the game, so good at staying alive. They just have to slay out a touch more. Can they do it? Absolutely. Well, on our screen right now, this is Royalized Squad with Medicine and Devo. This is the player that, well, apparently IQ's gonna hunt down and absolutely demolish, because apparently Devo got the better of him at the very beginning in map number 1. So we'll keep an eye out for Devo and see if maybe IQ can be a man of his word, Tiff.
Yeah, they're definitely looking down the sights, waiting for Symphony, Apathy, and Slack to loot their way forward. And as you can see, Royalize able to pick out that opening knock and full onto Symphony, but it's going to be Wag, Nickel, and Picnic on your screen here in the city. A lot of teams looking to get early in on that action, and Royalize capitalizing on it. Does only have that 1 initial kill for Symphony. And Slack, you can see parachuting away in the distance, dolphin diving for their life. It's like, yo, we gotta go, man.
Yeah, we do. And speaking of a team that needs to go, Iceman Isaac putting a little bit of gas, putting the pedal to the metal, finding a few elims, but unfortunately high ground positioning says, whoops, not today. That's Tapify finding Ice, sending him to the gulag, and Lucky and Exact are going to have to make a big judgment call here, and I think this might be the right one, but you have to do it together. Where's Exact, or where's Lucky? Nowhere to be found. Always floating back into the map. Exact's all alone.
Yo, Exact in the ghoulie. That's not gonna be the best place. I'm not gonna lie, I faced Exact in the gulag, and it was a formidable fight that I lost, so I have full faith into him. But as the chaos erupts over here nearby the tents over at Carnival, there's a loadout in the site, and you can see Dark Pit Light. They want to deny that team the ability to get that loadout, and if they've already picked it up, that's going to be a little unfortunate, because they're going to have that upper advantage, because they're going to be comfortable with that Cronin, with that Lockman SMG, or they've got that NCPR sniper in hand, and you've got to be weary. But Mr. Daft does not have the KV broadside just yet, I do not believe, so maybe a little bit all right there.
I got a shout out, by the way, Sabas, J-Device, and Mr. Daft currently sitting in, I think, 12th to 13th place overall. So looking very solid in comparison to where they were at last year. J-Device and Sabas, I think, were down in the low 30s overall rank at the end of the World Series of Warzone last year. Looking strong with Daft in tow. But let's swing over to some action. There's Voltrace. We got Not Average looking for a few elims pretty early on. I believe this is one of our last game squads that is technically in our North American region. That's Skyrust getting wiped and now in trouble. we'll see if they're able to finish off this team wipe and move on their merry way.
Ooh, Huskerrs in the ghoulie up against Super Evan. Talk about a foe that you don't want to go up against. Shots are being handed and traded. No real damage that is going to hit just yet. Utility being utilized, and Super Ev may be able to hit the ultimate flank or bait the flag here.
Uh-oh, flag play. Gonna go for a grenade, pushes the equation. Super Evan finds the better on one of our first gulags we've seen on main broadcast in its entirety. Super Evan played it perfectly, coming back into the lobby. You know, Swagg is excited about that one. You gotta wait. Well, that's an AI. Dr. Drummer cleaning some things up. Tip, we haven't had a chance to actually see a lot of stronghold fights in comparison to what we were expecting, but I was taking a look at some of the strongholds, and this is such a key informational piece for the viewers at home. You know that strongholds are variated, right? There's 72 in total that you can find on the map, and they vary map to map. The battle over strongholds is such a key part to this tournament, and it's such a key part to getting your loadout and resources that you need, that you're likely going to see some more of those fights, especially early game, so that you can get your loadout and you can then go use your loadout to actually grab some eliminations.
It's one of the quickest things that you can do to get that. You get money, you get munition boxes, you can get armor boxes, you've got the tempered vest that usually spawns out of that crate as well as your loadout. And then you're right, you just go, be very confident. You can attract people to that stronghold location because that big red symbol's going to go up and say, hey, you know, that team's fighting it, so let's go ahead and push onto that so you can bait people in. But Chrissy found herself in the gulag against Limax, so this will be interesting. Frag grenade cooked and ready, thrown to a great position, but will it connect? No, but she's sitting in the head peak right here waiting.
Nice and patient. 1v1s in the gulag, always fun to watch when we can see them. Limax, woo-hoo-hoo. First shots I think go to Chrissy, but Limax gets the better of that opponent. That was a tough fight, but a big win. Joewo squad, Limax, Joewo, Breadman, they've fallen from grace. They were in the top 5, now they're just barely inside the top 10 after a very unfortunate map number 3. They'd love to get back some of their consistency here, and hopefully that regain will aid them in some endeavors.
Good to check in with Dongy and Nofo, full alive thus far, but they need to carry on that consistency as well as they want to secure their sums back in the top 3 position. But Jay Wilkle on your screen, thin Sean J looks to be maybe potentially in the gulag fighting for her life to get back into the game. And we've seen some really strong moments over the years with Sean J gaming in the World Series of Warzone, in CDLR, all of these major tournaments. She was sniping back in Caldera at peak, getting dicey. But speaking of getting dicey, it's that Triple S squad that we love talking about, Ghosh.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like this squad, even with their map 1 victory with not that many eliminations, they've been very quiet. It was a fun way to finish. They're quiet, but they're in 3rd place, Tiff. Like, they're doing just fine. They're doing exactly what they need to do. The 3rd game wasn't necessarily some major pop-off game, but enough to keep them in the equation. Let's see if maybe their 4th will be the game they need. Shifty's able to find one from distance. Yeah, I think the Corona is still pretty solid, Tiff.
I have no doubt that thing eats me alive on the daily, and it's still very prevalent. If we talked about the recent patch notes and we were like, it got slightly nerfed. No, it was definitely an adjustment per Dandro. We were chatting, and it's like, if you've got the recoil control, it's still going to be a prevalent gun to use, and everyone in our lobby has the recoil control to handle the Cronin, as Doug is raw, is just trying to piece together a little bit of a clean navigation as he's getting peppered from rooftops. Let's check in with that dead or alive tracker. We see Team Ebates, DJ Moss, Z-Smith, they're still alive, currently in 2nd place. Your leaders, Almond, Noobs, Tommy, they're still alive. And so is everyone that seems to be in the top 3. So far, so good.
Yeah, 2 things I got to note here. My boy Symphony is done and dusted. They're out of here. They're going to need a major regame in the final 2 maps. The other one was Frozone. Team Desmond. This is kind of what they did in the quals. They were struggling, and then they had a just gigantic 60-point game to solidify themselves at the very top of the leaderboard in the qualifiers. They're going to need something of the same here in the finals to walk away with cash, to walk away with a stage 2 spot. They're about 29th right now overall. Got to get inside the top 25. Frozone said it best. He's his own worst enemy. He has to keep composure. The team is good. They've got great chem. Everything can go their way if they keep their composure. Right now, that's something that he's having to battle in his brain, as another unfortunate map means they're going to drop on that leaderboard.
Yo, let me talk to you about these recon drones that Z Colors just whipped out of his back pocket. Sometimes they are so insanely good to be able to get a lay of the land, and you can see Nofo, Dongi, they're just on the right side of your screen over here at the pass, and this is tough. It's a really interesting POI because the buy station that a lot of the teams come here to utilize is tucked under the cave, and Super Evan, they've got a good line of sight that's going to be just into that cave entrance, but you can see it looks like Crowder potentially was trying to navigate his way towards that buy station, and Super Evan has caught him in his sights and is now the pursuit. The hunt has on.
Yeah, this is a huge moment here, though, for Nofo, Dongi, and co. They've got an opportunity to third party and wipe Super Evan's squad while he's hunting down his prey. This is a free pick. This is a position that VonBot's squad knows well. Dongi and co. landed here, mapped 2 of the qualifiers, and they dominated that POI. It's one of the reasons they did so well. You're likely going to see Super Evan's team fall in kind. I think Super Evan even got sniped by somebody there.
Noobs just got dropped and fooled. Scummin is down. Now Almond last alive for the TBE squad. You were talking about trouble, but they have a team just underway, and this is the same rotational path that we've been witnessing. They keep running through tents, running through these towers, and the dust storm, yeah, I can provide your cover just a little bit, but as you see him dolphin diving from little shrubbery to little shrubbery, trying to make their way, they don't have enough cash to be able to hit a buyback. If that's the case, does have a PA and a revive pistol, so can play their life with utilizing that, but it's still going to be tough. Dongi, VonBot, Nofo, they're hitting the redeploy.
Yeah, flawless execution. I think it was Dongi, by the way, that got the snipe on Super Evan. I don't know if they cleaned it up or not, but they have rotational position. You can see they're getting chased. There's colors on your screen, playing in place of Booyah from last year. A fantastic pickup. Well, Doozy's getting the better of his opponents out into the edge of the zone, finding Nofo. They've evened up the tally, maybe even have a slight player advantage. Maybe if Huskerrs, the team on your screen currently, I thought for sure they'd be taking this fight with pure ease, but as VonBot's taken out, Dongi, Nofo in trouble. They're gonna have to rotate in with smokes, and guess who's gonna catch them on the other side? It's Z Colors with the re-rep. We forgot about him. We saw him fly off of the balloon. Where is he? Unable to finally clean it up, but wow, what a trap in position Colors team. With Swagg, that early snipe, it can play Intraman for you. You don't have to play it tight. Super Evan comes for cleanup. See you later.
Is a squad wipe, beautifully done by Super Evan, Swagg, and Z Colors, and it's challenging, right? But I think Z Colors is such a strong player. We got to see him a lot playing in some co-eds. He's always in the competitive scene. No matter what, he will stand up to the occasion and just plays out of his mind, and this could be a really good game for them. But speaking of this, OP marked, waiting for Zebas to just peek the entryway of this door, hits for some shields, not able to get a full crack, but now the positioning has been given up, and it's tough, right? But jumping on over to Unrational, taking a nice knock onto Valid, jumping through, baiting the window break. Is he still inside?
I love this play from Unrational in a really tough position. We got one down, one on the outside. He's isolating his 1v1s. This is Brittany Reigns on the other side. This would be a big take for Unrational. Has to survive. Last alive for his team. He's gonna try to confirm to make sure there's no rest. Has Brittany Reigns in sight. Great shield. He's gonna push the equation. Looking for one. Finds the second. See ya later, Brittany Reigns. Squad wiped. Unrational still alive. Just a few plays. 1-2. Buckle my shoe. Unrational keeps their dreams alive. Currently sitting at about 15th place. Unrational Scum and Huskerrs battling through their chemistry issues and the roster mania that once was a moment on the wind. They have to look forward, Tiff. That's a big, big linchpin moment in their success today.
That just goes to show you how critical movement is. Like, if you have good movement in Warzone 2, it stands out substantially, whether that's knowing jump spots or how to bait window breaking, right? He hits the window, it breaks, but he comes back and stays inside. Able to position to the high ground, grabs his full, and now we're in a little bit of a situation underneath with that team. But jumping on over to your map 3 winners POV, we have a Raze, IQ, and Ryda, and they're making a full push onto Braxton, Empathy, and Prospect. Now, why this is big, right? We were talking about those bubble teams. Braxton's gonna have to win this out.
This is a top team versus a bubble team. Team inside the top 10, team just on the outside of the top 25. Both have solid positioning. I like Brax's team's position better as long as they know the squad is here. And as Well, as the bullets are raining in, they certainly know someone's here. The question is, who is it, and how are they going to approach this fight? However, this is a big signal flare, Tiff. Ooh, especially as we get a knock. Can we drill charge it out? Can we grab full player advantage? IQ's ego challenging everything. That means, hey, Rob, Arrays get involved. And Ryda says, have you ever heard of a broadside? Let me clean up this squad, no problem.
My man, you've never seen the fire? A little bit of the doof? You sure you want to chow this, my guy? No, I would be running out the door. And just like that, this goes to show you it's the nostalgia that we saw back in Verdansk when the shotgun was so preferential. It's horrifying. Not only does it run the gauntlet in ranked, but it's here in the World Series of Warzone. And Team Aydan, the Cheddar Brothers, and the Disciple, they are taking down Intex.
Yeah, Blastides, every time we've seen him, he's unfortunately been dying. Well, Aydan gets picked off. See ya. Believe is finding kills from distance here. Unrational right around the corner as well. Potentially looking for a quick buyback, and I think that's exactly what happens. Fantastic regain here from Unrational, Scummin, and Huskerrs. This is the making of an incredible storyline if they can find a few eliminations here. Scummin is flying in with 3, so they're likely looking at near double digits already if everybody's around that 3 mark. And we saw on our screen Unrational at least find 2. So this is a potential pretty big game, especially when they're grabbing loadout weapons.
Ooh, this is really, we talked about that UAV in the sky, that budget one. Well, Huskerrs is that for his team right now. He's just floating over oil, trying to see if he can witness any ants or skirmishes below, maybe give some insight to his teams while he's waiting to really full send back down. But 33 squads left, circle closing, about to go underway. And Juju, Locksteel, and Co., they're just positioning themselves to the best of their abilities and laying low.
Snipers are king. When you can grab those shots from distance, play infantryman, it helps for player advantages. Scummin gets cleaned up by a precision airstrike, and Badge is going to try to come clean up this kill. Now, I think he might be in for a rude awakening if Unrational's there to help out. Oscar's playing a bit of Overwatch, trying to grab some live pings if he can. The few smokes, Badges thought better of it, Tiff, and said, okay, we'll let him get back up. I'll try again in a second.
It's not worth my life. We talk about the survivability, and sometimes that's more mission critical. Maybe you've already picked up 5 to 7 eliminations. Well, now you've got to go the distance as Phase Scopes in the kill feed is picking up snipes left and right. We're seeing DBC smoking their way towards Shaded Step. Now, that's really smart here, but they still have the cover of the building, which is king, and Destroy just got dropped. Oh, no, just kidding. He's able to get himself off. We're good.
See ya. I'm telling you, this DBD squad, when they're locked in, they're gonna do some disgusting things. Now, I'm taking a look at that team 37 on the side. We've got to be careful. If you're rotating in, you're throwing up that signal flare here as you're trying to take this fight. You can't lose another to Shaded Step. This is the signal flare saying, come third party us, please, please, please. We want to die. If you can't take down Shaded Step now, you're gonna be in trouble.
Clutch Belk gonna fall. Those drill charges, they really are good for just getting that opening damage, adding a little bit of spark, but Destroy able to pick up Step, and that's great for him. Now he just needs to realize, my teammates, man, I'm not gonna get him back anytime soon. That mid-game regain is so tough, especially in a lobby of this statute. And the FaZe boys still popping off in the kill feed. Let's check in with the dead or alive tracker. Yep, just like that. Pros, Dirty, and Scope still alive. I'm pretty sure Dirty was just in Mexico or something on vacation with Mimi. So good to see him back here, getting in the competition and standing up strong here in the later half of the series.
I'm looking at Joewo still alive. I'm looking at Locksteel, Juju still alive, eBay, Z-Smith still alive. Some of our top teams back in it, trying to make a name for themselves here in the entire tournament, or just solidifying themselves as some of the Warzone GOATs. Oakley boy, JC baby, almighty TJ. This team's actually been a sleeper team throughout the entirety of this tournament thus far. I believe they're currently sitting just inside, or just outside rather, of the top 10, and no, sitting at 10th right now, Tiff. Exactly, and we've hardly talked about them at all. This is a team that was kind of cobbled together from a couple other teams from the last World Series of Warzone that didn't do all that well. They came together, made their own squad, and are looking pretty solid today, and looking like they might capitalize on some consistency here in map 4.
Well, consistency is what I'm looking for, and that's going to be that of Triple S. And TBE Noobs just wiped another squad, but Tommy gets dropped, and Triple S is just looking at this rotation that's happening at the road in front of them, and they've really split out well. You got Shifty covering the roof on the right. Skull appears to be peeking a window on the inside, and Soka smoking and going in to maybe get a little aggressive. That mortar is going to move them around, but it's not a direct hit. But the Chaos is still going to allow the teams seeking that rotation to get through unharmed.
Look at Team 37, Tiff. That's IQ to raise, trying to go back to back right around the corner. Ryda in trouble, though, and they might be falling in the kill feed right as I start talking about him. See if maybe Ryda's able to get out. Shifty, not a ton of eliminations to write home about, but you're right. A very solid position with a couple teams right around the corner. Now, here's TBE. They had a bit of a crazy start, if you remember. Fairly aggressive, and it was just Almond left alive. And there's a full team of 3 on the other side, and they're still missing Tommy. It probably brought him back, and then he fell again. Not necessarily the biggest game in the world, but if they can just be somewhat consistent, they're likely going to keep themselves at the top of this leaderboard. They are outside of the next circle, so take a look at who's in that circle. That's Team 22, which is Team Aydan. The Cheddar brothers set up on a great position to catch a ton of teams rotating in. So keep an eye out for that Team 22 and see if they might be one of the last squads alive.
Yeah, but this rotation here that Almond and Noobs need to hit, they have to get through Huskerrs, Scummin, and Unrational because they're out to the back. And if you're going to be setting your sights on that next zone, which is closing as of now, you have to clear your sides. Make sure your back stays clear. Let no one near you. You can see Super Evan, Z Colors, they are just dolphin diving their way through the only natural terrain that they can find in Al Mazrah. And then they're going to cut left right into another team. But Almond gets dropped, and now it's Noobs. Last alive. Yeah, he's able to grab a knock on his Scummin, but you still have to get through Huskerrs and Unrational, and they're going to go for that insta-res while Unrational pursued, and just like that, TBE is out.
All right, Huskerrs, Unrational, Scummin about to move up into the top 10 if they can continue some success. Playing edge, Scummin on 7. Tiff, this is a big game already. Qualifiers, or sorry, the multipliers coming into play. Eliminations coming into play. There's Team 22. There's Adrian ratting out. Last player alive over here, and I think this should be an easy cleanup if they see him. Adrian might be able to sneak a kill, though.
Sneak a kill. I was trying to tune into one of his streams last night, and they were talking about people were going to play super slow, but Scummin does. The silent killer takes them down. Now, I did see a member of Squad 27, which is going to be Team Ebates, floating around in the kill feed, and the goal is, did they land? Did they get eliminated? Are they alive? Because they're the team that's looking to take the top of the leaderboard from TBE, but this could be a really big game. We see Picnic taking that high ground, Devo finding some eliminations, and Super F, Z Colors, and Doozy just trying to fight their way in, and they move right in onto a team.
Yeah, look at this zone. You think Doozy's got a pretty solid squad here, and they're looking solid. They're all alive and pushing this fight, and they're winning it. Still edge of zone, though. Watch Waldo last life for his team on top of the water tower there. This is going to be a ratty, weird final circle. A lot of teams, 11 to be exact, still alive. We've lost Unrational on the left side, and they answered JC Baby's take on the other side. So here's our final squads left alive. Some of our top teams trying to continue to further their point totals on this leaderboard. And Shifty's in a fight, looking tough though from behind. There's the third party. There's a lot of teams here. This is going to be unadulterated chaos. And who's here in the final circle? It's Bonk. They set up for success, but they can't find it. Multipliers mean nothing if you can't find kills, and Skullface is trying to find some. He can potentially get this res off.
Yeah, but you gotta see, he does have a member of Stellar Futures behind them. That's going to be Bonk, able to sniff them out. And Super Evan Swagg, last alive for this team, and they're playing a really good portion of the Doom, able to grab a knock onto Bonk. That should be a full elim for them, down to 7 squads. But look at the positioning that Huskerrs and Scummin have. They're coming up on Rational, utilizing smokes for covers. They should be able to isolate this out, and if Scummin can win his one, which is really great, but I think, oh, now it's going to turn into a 1v2, but Huskerrs decides to join in to help Scummin if he can.
Tiff, there is 7 squads alive, and it's all floaters besides these 2 teams. Everyone's watching the fight, staying patient. Huskerrs, Unrational, Scummin, looking solid. They've got the player advantage, going to take down Swagg likely. This is still a massive game for Swagg, and one they're going to love going into the final 2 maps. Here come the floaters. Can I get a couple picks out of the air? There's colors after being bought back potentially. all of these kills are free points. You got to remember that. We also know, hey, pistol's pretty good if you're not careful, but this should be a wrap for Scum and Unrational and Huskerrs, just wiping the rest of this lobby. This is free pickings, Tiff, and this is going to look amazing on their scorecard.
Look, I just saw Ryda up in the air, so if we're gonna run it back with them to take it, you can see he just landed on top. Scum and going for the chow does eliminate him. This could be a massive game for Unrational, Huskerrs, and Scum, and it is theirs for the taking because there's only 2 squads left. They've got the player in their sight. Nate Dogg, you cannot hide from Scum.
Wow, that is a massive game, Tiff. Huskerrs, Unrational, Scum, and they've had a slightly unfortunate turn of events at the beginning of this tournament. They've turned it around quickly. These are one of the most storied trios in all of Warzone history. They've been through their ups, they've been through their downs, not only over the course of the last 3 years, but even in this tournament to date. Now that right there was one of their ups, though. A big map is going to move them well inside the top 10 going into the last 2.